spring of 1929, and the company has just announced this pageant and festival, and all the women of the town are at the company store. Everything you have heard about the company store and those songs is absolutely true. And in this case, this is where the women would gather every day to gossip and share news, and then buy their supplies. The butcher line stretched the length of the company store, past flour sacks and canned goods shelves, candy case and post office counter. Outside, women studied neatly typed notices tacked on either side of the door. The notices were identical, but everyone read them both. Those with English, translating for those without, passing words and gestures up and down the line. Polish, Croatian, and accented English words of amazement moved from one to the next. A festival for their church, with a pageant, an essay contest, and fireworks to boot, all paid for by the company. Each woman's posture had subtly changed. Faces, some framed by faded babushkas, glowed like dogwood blossoms. The announcement had elevated the morning to holiday status. The produce crates and pickle barrel, even the pulley wires up to the clerk's office, they all might have been draped in vivid bunting. Everyone had at least one unwashed pot encrusted with encrusted with oatmeal or polenta, a back porch layered with bug dust. Still they lingered, their heady anticipation briefly freeing them from the tedium of yet another smoky Thursday. In Magyar and Italian and Slovak, each told herself, my daughter will take the best part in the pageant. Unlike me and my worked like a dog, paid like a slave husband, my daughter will be somebody important, if only for one weekend. I will be the mother of the girl who plays St. Barbara. My Anton heard that the baseball team might get new uniforms, said Claire's friend Camilla. That new big boss, he must be a decent man after all. Think of it. New uniforms and a pageant, less than a year after a strike. Camilla lowered her voice. I haven't heard the White Hood's horses in I don't know how long. Claire nodded warily. Camilla's husband had apparently missed the pit boss's warning to Finn, her husband, about what the bosses called Bolshevik talk. If Finn didn't pipe down about the union, the company would get word to the White Hoods, and they'd all watch a cross burn on the dirty hill that very night. Just ahead of Camilla, Rosa Sestak told the butcher's assistant, pork chops, 3 pounds. She smiled, awaiting a fancy cut of meat Claire knew better than to ask for. Lovely Teresa, Rosa's eldest, wouldn't need so much as a powder puff stroke to convince every miner and his missus that she was beautiful, tragic St. Barbara. Camilla rolled her eyes. The month's first envelopes and Rosa buys chops. She'll be filling Frank's bucket with bacon grease sandwiches by the 10th, or I'm a monkey's uncle. Claire shrugged, hoping Camilla would say no more about the envelopes. On wash days, she occasionally found Finn's crumpled in a pocket. His wage was written at the top, followed by deductions for rent, the store, blacksmith, and doctor. More often than not, the balance due box was marked with a snake, the wavy black line that indicated an empty envelope. He'd never told her the amount of his baseball bonus paid under the table, but it didn't matter. He spent every penny at the speakeasy, setting nothing aside for the store debt. She imagined the clerk's finger sliding down a column in the ledger to Sweeney, Finbar, miner number 20, and the meager figure of their allotted credit. If Finn were a different kind of man, she could have shared her fears. Listen to the pit boss and keep your voice down, and steer clear of the new policeman. The instant Finn raised a fist in the policeman's direction, he'd be off the payroll. They'd be thrown out of their house, and well before the dust settled, the assistant superintendent who hated the union would be dancing a jig. Then again, if Finn were a different kind of man, she'd have so much less to fear. Heart pounding, she turned away from Camilla and walked past the remaining wives. They greeted the woman they knew as Claire Finnegan Sweeney. Claire, the home-run hero's missus, brought to the hive to pack his bucket and scrub his back, raise his daughters, and bury his sons. She returned their greetings until she stepped onto the store's front porch. There, her glance fell upon the barn owl eyes of Essie Hunt, the wiry-haired Negro woman at the end of the line. They pretended, as always, that they didn't know each other's names, that they'd never seen each other before.